Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into the thick of the current Formula One title fight. You look at the points, it seems simple maybe.
Yeah, but it's really not. The tension. Completely different story on the ground.
Exactly. We've gathered some fascinating insights from the analysts over at the Jurors Zone. They've been digging into the whole psychological game being played.
Welcome, everyone, to the Jurors Zone broadcast.
Yeah.
Our goal here, really, is to give you the shortcut, the inside track on what's actually going on in this championship. So we're unpacking how Max Verstappen, despite being behind on points, is this huge psychological weight for McLaren.
Right.
And we're looking hard at those strategic mistakes.
Yeah.
The ones keeping this fight from just ending. It's this mix of math, driving skill, and, honestly, deep team psychology.
Okay, let's dive right in. The core idea from our sources, the thing that just jumps out, is this pressure Max is applying. It's improbable pressure.
Yeah.
The sources are saying MV, just by driving the way he is making, 130 people back at McLaren and Woking, tremble.
It's exactly that, the power of the improbable. Now, we need to be clear, mathematically, winning the whole thing from here. The analysts call it, frankly, improbable for Max.
Okay.
But, and this is the key bit, Verstappen is seen as that rare kind of driver, the one who makes the improbable seem, well, a little easier. He's not just racing his car, he's projecting this inevitability almost.
And that's hitting McLaren's confidence, you think?
Seems like it's chipping away at it, yeah. Especially when you look at the scoreboard recently.
Okay, let's talk numbers, because this is where it gets quite surprising. Since the summer break, starting from Italy, Max Verstappen alone has racked up 68 points in 3 races.
Right, solid performance.
Now, compare that. McLaren, with both Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, they've only managed 63 points combined, same period.
And that is the stat that's causing the trembling back in Woking. That's the core of it.
One guy outscoring the whole team.
Exactly. If Max keeps this up, and this is crucial, if McLaren has another weekend where, say, one car gets 0 points, which can happen, then that internal pressure just goes through the roof. The sources really emphasize, McLaren's fighting itself almost as much as they're fighting Red Bull right now.
Right. And to really hammer home how, real this threat feels, even if it's unlikely, the Jurors Zone analysts ran this wild hypothetical. They called it the fumata.
Ah, yes, the pipe dream scenario.
Basically, how could Max technically still win it all?
It's extreme. Max would need to win every single race left. Every single one, including all the sprints.
Oh, okay.
And for Piastri to keep it even remotely close in that scenario, he'd need to be super consistent, like 1 second place, 6 thirds, plus a couple of seconds in the sprints.
So it's a massive long shot, a fumata.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
But the point isn't that it's likely. The insight is that Max doesn't need that miracle. He just needs McLaren to stumble.
Like the old reliability issues or strategy mistakes.
Exactly. Another 0 points for Piastri, maybe on a tricky track like Singapore. The sources say that's not crazy to imagine. And if that happens, suddenly that huge points gap doesn't look so huge anymore. The championship feels wide open again.
That makes a lot of sense. So this psychological damage, it's not just vibes. It's being fed by actual mistakes, missed chances.
Absolutely. Tangible errors.
Where are McLaren losing these crucial points, then, according to the analysis?
Well, looking at the drivers first, the analysis is actually quite balanced. Piastri's had 3 errors recently, but they're seen as assumable, forgivable, young driver pushing.
Okay. But Norris?
Norris gets more criticism. He's seen as having wasted 2 clear opportunities. The expectation for him is just higher.
Wasted opportunities?
Yeah.
Was that driver error? Or something else?
Seems like a mix, pressure, maybe trying too hard.
Yeah.
The first one was Saturday qualifying.
Right.
Piastri had already crashed. Norris just needed to secure a front row start. Third would have been fine, absolutely fine.
But he didn't.
No, seems like he overdrove. Went for pole by maybe too much margin, trying to make a statement perhaps, and then he made the mistake. Threw away easy points, essentially.
Okay, so if the lead driver's making risky moves like that, why did the team follow up with a strategy that the sources called quite gray or lukewarm on Sunday?
Yeah, tibia was the word used, lukewarm. This points to that strategic paralysis we mentioned.
Why, though? If you're already out of position, why do the same thing as the leaders?
That's the million-dollar question the sources raise. Why not try something different? Why not gamble on the hard tire, maybe? Try and make up ground later.
Seems logical. So what's stopping them? Is it a technical thing, or...?
Sources suggest it might be. Well, internal politics. The fear, potentially, is that if they split strategies, Piastri might actually benefit and pass Norris on track.
So the fear of an internal fight stops them taking risks against Verstappen.
That seems to be the implication. That worry about managing the internal rivalry might be making their overall strategy too cautious, too. Lukewarm.
And that caution plays right into Verstappen's hands, doesn't it? He doesn't even need to be outright faster, just faster than their compromised result.
Precisely. Which brings us to Red Bull. Because something's definitely changed there since Italy. What on earth have they done?
Yeah, the analysts say they found a click or a breakthrough. Something's made that car faster. Even Tsunoda's looking quicker.
And that breakthrough is what really sets up Max's current role. Since they found that extra gear, let's say, Max has effectively become the judge, or maybe the invited referee in the McLaren title fight. He's consistently putting himself right between Norris and Piastri.
Stealing points from both of them every weekend.
Yep. A whole bucket load of points, race after race.
And if that keeps happening, the sources think an internal clash at McLaren is almost inevitable, right? They expect Norris and Piastri to eventually start hitting each other.
Well, maybe not literally hitting, but certainly pushing the limits against each other. The tension builds, and we all know the history here.
2007, McLaren lost a championship because of internal fighting.
Exactly. That precedent hangs over them. So if Max keeps this up, keeps cutting into the lead, and maybe Norris has another 0-point race.
Maybe another mistake under pressure.
Could be. The sources suggest McLaren might actually be forced to step in. Designate one driver, perhaps Piastri, if he's more consistent as their main soldier, to fight Max.
Team orders, basically.
Despite wanting them to race free. The longer Max stays in the hunt, the higher the chance of that happening. It becomes a necessity.
Which leads us to this really interesting philosophical point the sources brought up near the end. This idea of justice versus merit in winning a title.
Yeah. They cited that old football coach, Benito Floro, who always made that distinction. A just result versus a deserved or merited one.
How does that apply here in F1?
It applies really well, actually. Floro used it to say, look, sometimes the score doesn't reflect who played better in F1 terms.
Okay.
Justice means following the rules. If McLaren has the fastest car over the season, accumulates the most points, which they currently are, then by the rules, by the system, it's just that their driver wins. The point system is designed for that.
Right, the rules are the rules.
But then there's merit. And the Dark Zone analysts argue pretty strongly that if you just look at pure driving skill, pure performance.
Well, Max
Verstappen deserves the Volante de Oro, the golden steering wheel, basically every year, regardless of his car sometimes. That's the merit argument.
So it's this underlying feeling, almost a conspiracy theory, as the sources called it.
Yeah, that it feels very unjust sometimes when the absolute best driver doesn't win the championship. Fans come to see drivers push limits, right? Not just engineers build fast cars.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, Max winning every year would get boring. But his driving merit, his individual skill this season, suggests he perhaps deserves it, even if the points say otherwise right now.
So let's try and summarize the conclusion of the news we've gone through. Where do we stand?
Okay. Well, mathematically, the title still leans towards McLaren. They generally have the faster car package. That's justice, perhaps. But Max Verstappen has launched this really effective campaign. It's psychological, it's mathematical by chipping away points, and it's being fueled by McLaren's own issues.
Their internal tensions, those lukewarm strategies, the missed chances.
Exactly. So 3 key things we hit on. 1, Verstappen's psychological game and the real, if improbable, math threat. 2, McLaren's strategic stumbles keeping the door open.
And 3, that whole debate. Should the title be about justice according to the points or merit based on driving?
That's the core of it.
And looking ahead, the ultimate test for this Red Bull speed improvement is coming right up. Singapore.
Oh, yeah. Singapore. High downforce, slow corners. It's the absolute opposite, as the sources put it, of tracks like Baku and Monza where Red Bull suddenly looks so strong.
So if they are fast there.
If Red Bull and Max are competitive in Singapore, then, yeah, the anxiety in Woking is completely justified.
Yeah.
And this championship fight could get incredibly intense right to the end.
Okay, before we wrap up, a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on until the next race. If McLaren does get pushed into a corner, if they have to choose between Norris and Piastri to maximize their chances against Max, who should they back and why? Think about the consistency, the pressure, the potential.
Lots to consider there. Keep digging into these ideas. And definitely remember to subscribe to The Drink Zone if you want more of this kind of in-depth analysis from the source material.
We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.